Welcome to the Extra Lap, where for the insatiable among you, Tom, Jimmy and I are rustling up an additional serving of GT action as we reheat the feast that was the Gran Turismo World Finals. Well, gents, I feel like we all need a break, but what did you make of the finals?
Pretty much, yeah.
Finished already. I mean, that was an awesome final to, I think, cap off an amazing run in GT sport, and it's been awesome to get to commentate on another new champion, of course, in Valerio Galli, a Nations Cup as well, and Toyota doing really well, of course, manufacturers. I think it's been really, really. Well, I don't know. It's one of those things I don't really want it to end, actually. I want to keep going.
We always get like this at the end of the year, don't we? We get all a bit, like, sad and stuff. How's it been for you, Tom?
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable. You know, again, we've seen some new stars being born this year. Some drivers who we were expecting to perform as well didn't quite have the pace, and some new people emerged, didn't we? So, you know...
What you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's what we love.
Worlds, well, that's what you want.
I think the thing is, you know, bear in mind, we've been doing this, for 3 years now, the World Tours.
Is it 3 years? Is that how long we've known each other?
It counts as 4 years.
Is it 4 years?
Yeah. Fourth champion.
But we have 4 different champions in 4 years, exactly what I was going to say. It's amazing, really. And then Toyota being the first ever double champions in the Manufacturer Series. It doesn't get much better, does it, really?
Yeah, it's been super amazing. We're going to deep dive a little bit more into each of the finals. But first of all, let's have a bit of a reminder of what went down in the Manufacturer Series.
Well, the grand final for the Manufacturer Series got off to quite literally a rolling start. Igor Fraga leading the field down towards the first corner. Here is Kokeman, though, coming through into second place for Mazda. The top 4 drivers starting on the soft compound of tyres, meaning they had pace early on.
Also early on, Baptiste Beaufoy and Kokeman having this awesome scrap for second place. Kokeman all over the curb on the inside there. A daring move, but definitely worth it as he had the pace over Beaufoy.
Here is Igor Fraga just driving away from the rest of the field. The gap increased up to 7 seconds. Look, though, at this battle going on. Angel Inestrosa, Roberto Sternberg and Adam Tapai going side by side. Inestrosa getting his elbows out with Adam Tapai. That wouldn't be the last time those two would come together, because look at this. Inestrosa on the inside, then Tapai on the inside. Clattering again, and then Sternberg into the wall after contact with Inestrosa, meaning that Inestrosa picked up a penalty at the end of that one. A second dropped him down to 7th position, but it was just enough for Porsche to secure 3rd in the overall standings. Not enough, though, to deny Igor Fraga and Team Toyota the Manufacturer Series championship title. And here are the standings then after a brilliant 2021. Jimmy, Toyota taking top spot.
Yeah, and by quite some way too. 16 points to Team Mazda, who were very, very close in the way, but just couldn't quite compete in the grand final. Porsche just sneaking 3rd place after Inestrosa to 7th place into the grand final.
Spicy manufacturers going on there. Yeah, let's talk through it a little bit.
I mean, well, that's Fraga. Fraga, what a dominating performance from. I mean, I know that this is his circuit and this is sort of his thing. I expect him to perform well, but it wasn't just performing well, it was just absolutely trouncing everybody else. And I really thought we were going to have a really close 4 battle between Mazda and Toyota. No, just gone.
And I love the fact that Toyota absolutely dominated it, really, didn't they? You know, pole position, then race win for Lopez, race win for Yamanaka, domination from Fraga. Brilliant.
It's just kind of, it's just kind of ridiculous, really. I mean, by the end point, we could have all just been, doing something else. TV, I don't know, whatever you do in your free time.
I think we were really fortunate as well to it not just be a fight for the win. We also had a really, really close scrap for third. With Inestrosa basically just bashing everyone out of the way to try and get up there. That's not quite what happened. It's a bit unfair to Angel, but that was a really, really. That came down to the last lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, had we not had that, we could have seen, somebody else being in 3rd position. And Inestrosa's very robust driving, I think, is probably the most politically correct way of putting it. Is was a really good spectacle, because you could just see how much he wanted that, and that's what I love. You get to see the passion with these drivers, isn't it? I know we're not able to do it in person, but even with the driver cams that we've got, and you can just see that they're fighting for it as hard as they can.
I do hope there's a hilarious supercut that someone's making of all the drivers that come out after all this, because hilarious. You guys actually chatted to some of the guys after the Manufacturer Series. Why don't we take a look at that?
Igor, many congratulations. First of all, that drive in the last race was just phenomenal. You controlled it from start to finish. How do you feel?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very happy, of course, with the result and also with my performance there. Nürburgring is my favorite track, so I really wanted to do well. And as well as 2018, it didn't went as well as I wanted. So being able to drive well here, it meant a lot to me.
Yeah, congratulations, Igor. It's Jimmy here. Good to see you again, mate. And yeah, I was just saying to Tom during the race that this is your circuit. I always see you online streaming around here and being amazing. What does it mean to take yet another Manufacturer Series win here, and of course the title with Toyota?
Yeah, as I said, like this means a lot to me, and especially like last year that I didn't do so well, being able to kind of come back and put a strong performance. Yeah, it has been great, and I think it gives me more motivation for the next challenges.
I mean, the main question is, Igor, do you have room for all of these trophies that are going to be accumulating in the Fraga household?
It's quite difficult already. Like I have a lot of trophy in my grandmother's house there, like all packed. So yeah, it's gonna be tricky.
Great to catch up with you then, Igor. Many congratulations once again. Let's go over and talk to Ryota Kokopin then from Team Mazda. Mazda finishing second on the podium. Ryota, great to see you. How are you feeling about finishing in second place? Mazda have been really strong in 2021. Do you feel happy with the result?
はい、2位という結果で終えられたことにすごく嬉しく思っています。
Well, that's great news. I mean, it was a brilliant result there, Ryota. And Jimmy, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask Ryota because in previous rounds you had a few struggles. You had a few incidents. What does it take to come back and put on such a strong performance? Did you have to do any extra training?
はい、とにかくその悔しいという思いを糧にして次の試合に生かすという思いが大事なのかなと思います。
Well, Ryota, many congratulations for finishing in second place. What do you think it will take in 2022 for them to be able to, for Mazda to be able to finish on the top step of the podium?
はい、とにかくチーム3人で、来年がそのような形になるかちょっとわからないんですけど、チームメイト全員でとにかく練習を重ねて決勝に挑むということが大事なのかなと思います。
Well, Ryota, great to catch up with you. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Let's go over to our third place finishers, then Team Porsche, and we're going to catch up with Angel Inestrosa, the Chilean driver. Angel, many congratulations on the third place finish for Team Porsche. It was really, really close at the end there, though. 1 point got you that third place at the end of the grand final, and especially with that penalty on the final lap. How do you feel about that result? I mean, it could have gone either way. You could have not finished on the podium for Team Porsche.
Yeah. When I finished the race, I thought we were out the podium, you know. So yeah, when I saw the leaderboard after the race, I was really happy with it. But yeah, personally on the race, it could have been a little bit better because I got stuck behind the Jaguar. But yeah, anyway, it was a really tough race, staying behind the Volkswagen and Subaru, trying to save some fuel. And well, yeah, everything ended pretty well. We're on the podium. Porsche's best finish ever on the FIA GTC. So yeah, we're really happy with it, and obviously really happy with this whole team, you know, because this year's team has been really good with Josete and Sugawara-san. So yeah, congrats to everyone.
Well, Angel, Jimmy here. First of all, congratulations. Great result for Team Porsche. You sort of said already that it's Porsche's best result at the moment, and you've been with Porsche for a long time now. Do you think you can maybe go one or maybe two better next year?
Probably, yeah. Why not, you know?
Oh, fantastic. Angel, just lastly as well, just how important is this communication between all of you drivers here today? Because, of course, in 2021, we've had drivers competing individually in the Manufacturer Series, but here for the World Finals, obviously, all of you guys are competing together for the same result. So how do you guys communicate with one another, and just how important is that to getting a strong result?
Well, we all three talk on English. But yeah, mainly on the last race, I was talking with Josete because obviously we talk Spanish. We both talk on the same language. So yeah, he was telling me that the differences, the strategies that the others were doing. So yeah, communication is really important here. And but yeah, I miss the live event when we can talk all there, you know.
Yeah, we miss all the live events too, Angel. Hopefully in 2022 we'll be able to get back to a bit more of that. Anyway, huge congratulations to our top 3 finishers of Team Toyota, Team Mazda and Team Porsche. And many thanks to Igor Fraga, Ryota Kokubun and Angel Inestrosa for their time.
I mean, it's always a pleasure to talk to them after the race. It's always quite fascinating to sort of see in their minds, like, how they saw it versus, like, what we see when we're kind of watching the screen.
Yeah, I mean, with the last race, of course, of Igor just sort of driving away with it, he was the first person to say, yeah, that was good, but also I wouldn't be in that position without my team. Help me out. So that's what manufacturers is all about, I think, in that regard.
We always talk about it, don't we, in commentary? You know, I love the team element of it because it does bring people together. You know, when we've got the
But it's
Nations
funny
Cup.
because then, you know, next day they're blooming battling against each other.
Exactly.
You know, our teammates, and then, you know, tomorrow it's a totally different story.
But we saw also with the drivers, didn't we, talking amongst one another, you know, and they were communicating and saying, right, oh, I really hope that they've started all on the medium tyres, or I hope that they're doing this, and I hope that, and, you know, and I love that because you get really good camaraderie between them.
And I definitely think it was, you know, really interesting what, you know, Yamanaka was saying about, like, I didn't want to trust my team, and then I did, and then it totally paid off. So, you know, that's only going to sort of burgeon and make that better for next year's Manufacturer Series, kind of make that bond. So that's pretty cool. I suppose we should maybe move on to the Nations Cup and have a little bit of a recap of everything that went down.
The grand final for the Nations Cup saw Jose Serrano starting on pole position. Valerio Gallo, though, was alongside him and immediately pulled into the slipstream as they headed down towards the first corner. Pretty even at the front row, but keep an eye out for Kawakami on Lucas Bonelli in the background coming into that heavy braking zone. You can see Serrano there defending the line from Valerio Gallo. A bit later on, Jose Serrano made a couple of errors over the course of this race, didn't seem to have the pace. Likewise, Kanata Kawakami ending up in the barriers.
Yeah, I think the car-track combination caught a couple of people out, some big names as well, one of them being Miyazono here as well. Similar issue, just going a bit wide of the chicane, hitting the wall and being overtaken there by Gallo. But it was this battle that interested us at the end. It was Gallo versus Beauvoir, who came seemingly from nowhere, last on the grid, then up into first place just on the last lap, though. Didn't quite all go to plan.
No, absolutely not. Baptiste Beauvoir's tyres started to wear out, and then this mistake in the chicane compounded his woes. Out of there he went, and Valerio Gallo had the room and the momentum on the outside to come across the timing line to take the checkered flag and the title. Let's have a look then at the World Series points rankings after that grand final. Valerio Gallo is the 2021 champion ahead of Jose Serrano finishing in second position. Last year's champ Miyazono finishes third ahead of Baptiste Beauvoir. That mistake on the last lap costing him that third position in the standings.
Well, as always, the Nations Cup finals delivers and then some. It was absolutely spectacular. What was kind of your favourite bit?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm going to be easy instead of the last race for me. Yeah. Mainly the drive from Baptiste Beauvoir. I know, of course, it's sort of Gallo's day, and it's good to acknowledge that, of course. But his drive in the last race, it literally last to first, and if it were not for one mistake, he would have pulled that off.
But I love the finite margins we've got with that. You know, we saw Baptiste, as you say, make that mistake in qualifying. We saw Fraga making mistakes in qualifying, and you know those sort of little mistakes can just add up to make a big difference. And you know, ultimately, it cost Baptiste Beauvoir, didn't it?
Yeah.
So.
It's too much. See, this is why I'd never been doing it. It just takes one moment, one fleeting moment of lack of concentration. You've seen me. I have thousands of them a day.
You're the other way around, aren't you? You get one moment of concentration.
One moment
and
of
the rest.
You guys chatted actually to the winners as well, so let's take a look.
First of all, let's talk to Baptiste Beauvoir, whose last to first challenge was so close, but yet just so far. Baptiste, an incredible performance from you, especially in that grand final. Just talk us through that race from your point of view.
Well, to be honest, I don't know how I did that, but after my mistake in the qualifying, I wasn't expected too much from myself. Starting last was, okay, definitely less pressure for the race, but I just tried to be the most smooth as possible. Just keep my calm because that's my power actually, to be fast in race but a bit slower in qualifying because of my mistake. And I think I just did what I wanted to do at the end, but I wasn't expected still to be close to Valerio like this at the end, and even Takuma. And so I really enjoyed this race for myself, and congratulations for the podium as well.
Well, Baptiste, I think it's fair to say that this season's been a little bit difficult for you compared to previous seasons. What does it mean to end this season on such a high note?
Well, It's good. It's not bad. I'm really happy to finish on this way, especially on the probably last GT Sport Championship. And but yeah, you're right, Jimmy. This year was a bit difficult for me, especially in the World Showdown when I was eliminated, and I lost a lot of point potential to gain even in the World Series. And yeah, I know where I have to work for myself, especially about the qualifying. I got too much pressure in the qualifying. I have to work on that, and maybe if I can, I don't know, have a solution about that, I will be maybe more fast in the future. But yeah, I got a weak point about that, and I will definitely work on it for GT7.
Well, Baptiste, great to know the points where you need to improve for 2022, and we look forward to seeing you back on the track again, I'm sure, very, very soon. So thanks once again, and many congratulations. Now, let's move over and talk to our 2021 Nations Cup champion, Valerio Gallo. Valerio, first of all, from us all here, huge congratulations on an amazing result. Just talk us through the emotions you're feeling right now. I mean, you must be like the cat that's got the cream, right?
Well, you've pretty much seen that I was in a river of emotions. So yeah, it's a unique feeling, and all the all the experiences, also especially the GT community that helped me in improving and believing in myself, which I wasn't actually doing. And yeah, I believe in myself today.
Yeah, Valerio, mate, again, congratulations from here in the studio. Just a quick question from me. I don't know if you remember back in December last year at last year's Nations Cup final, you came second and you were really happy with that. What does it mean to sort of now be the one that everyone's talking about? You finally managed to best everybody else. It must be insane for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy on myself, first of all, because apart from winning, as I also said, it was such a show, and also considering that I wasn't so fast at the start of GT Sport, I had to always try to, let's say, compare myself to the fastest guys, such as, for example, Mikael Risa, who's been my main inspiration for all this time, and also hi Mick, if you're watching. So yeah, but actually, I try to, let's say, make a mix of everything. Try to capture every moment. Try to study everything and know my weak points. Because for sure, today I've put a determination and a courage that I never shown before, and it's something that I really wanted to express today. And yeah, I really also hope that everyone enjoyed watching, first of all, and also, yeah, thank you to all the guys for making it awesome, from the organizers and all the drivers, because yeah, definitely this year has been one of the best years for sure, and I'm really glad of that.
Oh, that's fantastic, Valerio. Again, many congratulations. Just finally as well, when we talk about Mikael Hazal, Igor Fraga, we talk about the aliens of Gran Turismo. How does it feel now to have your name considered amongst the very best in Gran Turismo and to be now a champion in the Nations Cup? Just talk us through what that means to you to be put alongside those guys.
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable, because if I just look at my past, I was, let's say, just a young guy playing Gran Turismo and loving the game, which I always did. And for sure, the passion drives you to the best as well. And also looking at myself, at where I am now, for sure, I want to keep doing this forever and race against all the guys, because for sure it's the best feeling you can have. So yeah, thank you really so much.
Oh, well, again, congratulations, Valerio. An amazing performance in 2021. Let's move over to talk to Jose Serrano then, the Spaniard. Jose, a brilliant performance in 2021. Just talk us through your emotions throughout this World Final in the Nations Cup. How are you feeling after its conclusion?
Bueno, pues para mí esto es un sueño, ¿no? Porque a principio de año no me imaginaba estar ahí peleando por la victoria por el campeonato del mundo. Y la verdad que estar aquí con Valerio y con Miyazuna, que son auténticos aliens de Gran Turismo, increíble.
Well, Jose, I think it's very fair to say that you are definitely one of the aliens as well. My question is that during the race, the positions were changing so often that the final standings changed about 4 or 5 different times before we even got to the start-finish line. Were you aware of that when you were driving, or were you just focused on going as fast as possible?
Solo me he enfocado a ir a tope porque si pensaba en el campeonato, pues seguramente la hubiese liado más, ¿no? Porque en tu cabeza ya, aunque no quieras, pues si piensas en algo ya no va a ir bien.
Well, Jose, congratulations once again. An incredible performance from you in 2021, and we look forward to seeing you back on track again in 2022. Let's talk then to Takuma Miyazono, who finished in the top 3 for the Nations Cup World Finals. Takuma, an amazing performance from you. How are you feeling after performing so well? To finish inside the top 3 came really, really close right at the end there.
正直、今年は、最初の、ワールドシリーズの第一戦ですね。から、ちょっといい結果がずっと良くなくて、すごく自信を失いかけてましたし、で、今回の決勝のコースって、オリンピックバーチャルシリーズでも、決勝で使ったコースだと思うんですけど、その時にちょっと僕、レースで、ミスして、それがちょっとしばらく、夢に出てくるぐらい、なんかもう、本当に悪夢のような出来事だったんですけど、今回は、そのコースと同じ舞台で、ちょっとミスもしちゃったんですけど、最終的に、バレリオから、かなり僅差での3位でゴールできたので、なんかこう、再び自分にこう自信を持てるきっかけになりましたし、そうですね。本当良かったです。はい。
Takuma, again, congratulations on P3. I want to very quickly just talk about that last race, because I think it's fair to say that there's now a very big rivalry between you and Valerio Gallo. And as soon as we saw you pit in right at the start of the race, Tom and I were sort of saying, OK, hang on, what's he doing?
Something's going on here.
What's he up to this time? Did you realistically think you would end up on the podium in this race, given that at the start of the series you were behind on points?
はい。最初に言っておくと、そうですね。やっぱバリリオはやっぱり僕の中ではかなりこう、何ですかね。本当一番のライバルっていうかなんですけど、今回は、バティスにも負けちゃいましたし、ホセも最後僕とすごい接戦でしたし、みんな僕の中ではライバルと思ってますし、これから、はい、負けないように、お互い頑張ってそこは、はい、戦っていきたいなというふうに思っています。で、レースについては、僕、スタートでハードタイヤ選んだんですけど、本当はルーカスの位置を、取れればよかったかなというふうには、今振り返ると思うんですけど、ちょっと1周目立ち回りがちょっとあんまり良くなくて、ちょっと、順位を落としてしまって、もう2周目の終わりに、タイヤをソフトに変えるっていうのは、もう練習してる時からちょっと頭の中で、入れてたんですけど、かなり、僕の中ではリスキーな戦略だったので、それが最終的に機能するかどうかはちょっとわからなくて、でも、そうですね、最後のミディアムタイヤの時の、スティンドのペースが非常に良くて、で、バリリオの前に一瞬出れた時は、これは勝てるのじゃないかなっていうふうにはちょっと思ったんですけど、やっぱちょっと壁に当たってしまって、そこはもったいなかったなっていうところなんですけど、でも、はい、今回ワールドファイナルに、が始まった段階では、ここに立てるってことは、可能だと思ってたんですけど、正直厳しいだろうというふうには思っていたので、グループの、そのアジア・オセアニアの、地区のレースと、で、グランドファイナルのレ レースでこうやってポイント加算できて、で、最終的に3位になれたっていうのは、すごく嬉しいですし、来年以降もこの調子で頑張っていければなというふうに思ってます。
Wow, that almost wraps up our chat about Nations Cup, unless there's anything you guys would like to add as a final thought.
Got 40,000 things to go in there. I must say that I was really happy at the eloquence of Miyazono's answer.
It's really nice that he feels comfortable enough to fully share himself, with the GT family. That's great. I suppose we should remark upon our beautiful, look at this, Porsche GT Vision. We do love having our cars in studio. But obviously, this being here, it's signalling GT7's on its way, but which is great, but then it also kind of means it's the end of GT Sport.
I know.
A little bit. We've been through some times.
It's been mad. I mean, we've been doing this show for, it is 4 years.
It is 4 years, isn't it?
It does feel like it's some days with you two.
I wasn't in my 30s then. I was young, but I'm going to put it out. I'm going to put out my little fact.
Here we go.
So I've had the overwhelming pleasure and honour to do every one of the GT Sport shows, and it's been amazing to be part of it and see it grow young, like community, get to know everybody and all that stuff. And I think
yeah, but you did it when it was a bit rubbish at the beginning.
Here we go. Here's
right?
this.
And then I came along and it was heaps better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Say
And
how
then
you
Tom
see.
came along.
What do you mean Tom came along? Tom's been here since 2016.
Tom's ended.
I suppose we should talk about maybe highlights from the shows that we've been doing. We've got to have some. There's been so many. We've literally travelled the world together for 4 years. We've got endless selfies of each other asleep in taxi cabs, weird things like that, weird dinners.
Yeah,
so aside from
meetings.
that side, let's focus perhaps more on the actual racing. High points, some of your favourite points from the past 4 years.
Oh, there's so many, aren't there, really? I mean, let's think back to Sydney last year was the real high point, wasn't it? I mean, we didn't know what was coming then. We didn't know that, we'd have to completely adapt the way in which we work together.
I keep thinking about my opening link, which was we're about to take you all the way around the world. But we knew nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And then we end up at some studio somewhere else. And it's like, oh, OK, so we're not going to go to here and here. But, yeah, I mean, you can't not remember that final lap. We had Lukowski versus Miyazono, wasn't it, on the Nations Cup final?
And the best thing about it is we had that home crowd there as well, and the roar as they came to the start-finish line. And then, as Miyazono won it. But that was amazing. And I think, again...
That was great, because obviously you called the end of that race as well. You nearly lost your voice doing it.
Yeah, I had to, many days of just lying down silent, which is great for Tom.
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, it's what I've always dreamed of, to be honest with you.
But, I mean, we had that, and, of course, I think the first show at 2018 at Nürburgring. I remember that really fondly as well, because it was the first time doing any of that sort of work. And I was like, I wonder what these guys are going to be like in terms of racing and how friendly they are. First of all, they're all awesome people. They're all up for a chat. And then as soon as they get onto the circuit, it's just like, that's it, done. And the racing was absolutely sensational. And that's been a constant throughout these 4 years.
And just one thing I'd like to add as well. I mean, I came to... first did some stuff with Gran Turismo back in 2016 when this game, GT Sport, was unveiled for the first time to the public. And when that game came out, it was being constantly updated, and we had these events and we had competitors there. And to see the game from where it was back in 2016 to what it's evolved into now, which has really set, I think personally, the benchmark for esports and for motorsport as a way forwards. I think it's amazing to see where they've started, where they've ended up, and also what it signals for the future.
So it's nearly over. GT7's nearly out. What's the hope for the new game in the future? What do you reckon?
I just hope we get to have in-person events again.
Yeah.
They're magic, and I think they are the core of what this is about. But otherwise, I'm looking forward just to tuning K-cars and massive turbos. That's what I'm doing. It's done. Finished. Oh,
well, look, it's been a pleasure, as always, you guys. Honestly, a supreme joy to spend the year in this very gorgeous garage or garage. And that's it for the Extra Lap from this year. And what an incredible World Finals we've had. Congratulations to all our teams, drivers, and of course our podium finishers. Thanks to Tom, Jimmy, everybody who's tirelessly worked to pull this together. And we can't wait to see you all again very, very soon. Bye.